Welcome to 2026 Studio Reset. If your creative space looks like a disaster zone hit it, guess what? You aren't alone. Today we'll be cleaning our studio, but also making space for new art. So grab a trash bag and let's get started with cleaning. This place looks like a mess, can't you tell? The first thing I like to do when it comes to cleaning is just grab a huge trash bag and begin to throw away everything that you don't need in your studio. Old projects, old paperworks, trash that you might have just thrown on the floor, just chunk it and let it go. After you do that, that will be the perfect time to go and start reorganizing other components. When you do, oh, look at that, I almost hit myself in the face. But when you do begin to organize things, I like to organize magazines, for example, like we're doing right now. I like to organize those from the largest magazines to the smallest magazines. I also make it a point to go through all of the paper pieces that I have and throw away anything that I don't need anymore. Make sure you do shred it if it's anything super important. Shred that important paperwork if it's any old checks or anything like that, because I am notorious for keeping stuff that I should not have. But if it's not anything that's super valuable, just chunk it in the trash. I noticed at this point I had a lot of loose paperworks. All of these magazines I tend to use within my artworks when it comes to collaging or just adding texture into my paintings. So I do tend to have like a lot of like strays. So at this point, I am making sure that I will put all those little clippings in its own separate pile. Then the pieces that are all put together, that's not ripped up, I'm going ahead and organizing those from the largest magazine pieces to the smallest magazine pieces. Also, please forgive how I sound. I am fighting a cold in the rough streets of Houston in our crazy weather. But here I am organizing the magazines according to height. Like I mentioned before, I will have the taller magazines in the back and the smaller ones in the front, just so it looks better. Another example, like I said before, throw away all those old artworks that you might have just tucked away somewhere, and then all the clippings you want to keep, put them in their own separate pile. So I'm beginning to organize those little clippings. I mean, I know it might sound stupid, but I still like to put these clippings in accordance to height. And finally, what we have here is my allergies kicking my butt. I would say something else, but I don't want to get flagged from YouTube. I did not have a mask, so my next tip will be, if you're cleaning some of your old stuff, have a mask, just because you will have a lot of dust. That's something a lot of people don't think about, but you'll thank yourself later, because I've basically gotten worse not having a mask on. So have a mask when you're going through all these old things in your studio, because they might be dusty. So let's go over how I'm going to organize these clippings. If you're here from my cleaning video from 2022, this portfolio case might look familiar. Let's just recap. Make sure you don't throw away the original ones you have. All of these old pieces or components that's used for organizing can be reused in another part of your house. So like past Brit said, never throw it away. Don't throw away your old organizing utensils that you have, because you never know where you might need to use them again anywhere else in your house. And they are super expensive. At this point, I'm going to begin to organize my magazine pages. I'm going to keep the same principle as mentioned before by having the taller heights in the back and the smaller clippings in the front, because I do not want the bigger clippings to obstruct the view of the small ones, even if it's in this little plastic case. Yes, when you pull everything out, you will go through probably all of it. But if I can just see some of the pieces that's in the back, that's more beneficial for me in the long run. I do think that this is a principle that you should use everywhere within your life when it comes to organizing, having things according to height. And if it's not according to height, maybe color if you have time to do that. Now it's time to put that little case where it's going to go on my cube shelf. I see other clippings that I have on that shelf, so I'm just going to go ahead and consolidate everything. That is my next tip. Consolidate your items that you have within your studio. Don't have clippings to your left, to your right, upside down. Like Diana Ross says, just have them in one spot. Don't have them all over the studio because it will make it so much easier when you're looking for one thing instead of looking for multiples all over the place. So as you can see, I still have a lot to do, a lot to clean in the studio. But while I have some leg room on the floor, I thought it would be a smart idea to start with my closet. This has been something that I wanted to get to ever since I did like the last video, because I got in a really bad habit of just tossing things in the closet because it was out of sight and out of mind. So I'm going to take the time and go through this closet. Also tell you the tips that I have to have it put together and organized. So the metal shelf that you see in the closet, I believe it is from Target. I believe it was Threshold way back when. It normally would not fit for you to actually put it into the closet, so I had to build it inside the closet. One tip I have when it comes to organizing your canvases, if you're gonna have them stacked, is to have the smaller ones stacked in the back of the bigger ones. Ideally, you would also have cellophane, but I'm being really lazy right now because I just want to get this all cleaned up so I can start the next series that I will be introducing in March. But here's the cellophane. That's me telling you, like, if you have the time, don't be like me. Actually cover the canvases because it will protect the artwork while they are nestled together. I said it once and I'm going to say it again. When it comes to organizing it on the shelf, I'm going to do it according to height. So all of the big ones will be in the back and all the small ones will be closer to the left, more so in this video. Then I'm going to start with the next shelf, take everything off like I said before, get rid of everything I don't need, because I did have some things that I really didn't need to have anymore within my collection. These books are going to be another one. Now that the closet is at a manageable state, I'm going to go ahead and move on to my canvas shelf, which also looks like a mess. Surprise, surprise, because I just throw things on there. Same principle. I'm going to go through, make a pile of the canvases I don't want to have anymore. Those I am just going to throw away. There's no need in me keeping those. If it's something that is complete where I feel like it's worthy, I might just give it to a friend, or maybe I'll have a contest to actually give it to someone that's on my social media account. I haven't decided yet, but for the most part, a lot of them are unfinished artworks or just scraps, like these mats that I have. Those will be going in the basura as of right now. A new addition to my painting shelf will be adding these cardboard pieces, because I do have the canvases that are the ones that I'll just grab and have for the future, and I will be using more cardboard within my artworks. If you've been following me on social media, you would see that I have been using a lot of cardboards in my book art. So these are some pieces that I took from work. I will be organizing them as best as I can for them to stay together by using these rubber bands. And of course, like I said, I'm going to say it over and over again, according to height. So I will be putting those together and then putting them on my canvas shelf just to have them stacked and at least look better. Now that I can see more of the floor and it actually looks in a better state than where we started, I will do the before picture. I'm going ahead and vacuuming the floor. One quick tip that I have that will be coming up very quickly is make sure you pick up all of your art pieces off of the floor. I actually vacuumed up a little astronaut man, and yeah, you can just tell what he looks like now. I don't really need to say anything more, but I really did like this little figurine, but I jacked him all the way up. So pro tip, just make sure you pick up all the pieces that might be important off of the floor. But finally, we are here to the end of the video with it looking brand spanking new and everything organized. Thank you so much. What was your tip that you loved watching the most? If you had anything else that you felt that I did not cover, it might have been in the old video. So go ahead and click the link and watch the old one, which had other tips that I actually have acquired from visual merchandising. See you guys next time. Bye.